Again, welcome everybody. We just wanted to get everybody together, do a little bit of an update for the trip and start to get to know our fellow travelers a little bit more. What we're going to look at tonight, go around, first of all, just do introductions so that we, again, get to know one another, give you some updates about what we're doing, make sure that you know all of the, or at least some of the fun stuff that's included with our stay down there, talk a little bit about the diving and some of the other activities that we can do. Pack for a Purpose, which is an initiative Kathleen's going to talk a little bit about it, and then open it up for our general thoughts. But to kick things off with the introductions, I'll start. For those of you that haven't met me, which the majority I think have, I'm Chris Finley. My wife and I, Kathleen. There you go. So we're going to be leading the trip. We've been to Roatan several times. Absolutely love the island. Love the diving there, and the resort that we're going to is in a spectacular location. So the beach, the amenities that we have there, it's going to be a great place to go. Kathleen, anything you would like to add?
Yes, I love Roatan. I'm very excited to be going back. I think this is our 5th time to Roatan. The last time I was there has been like 5 years ago now, which is very sad. But I got to spend a month and a half there, and Chris had to come and get me. So I'm very excited to be going back, and glad to take all of you with us.
So here, why don't we just start around, and we'll start with who's hanging out back behind.
Hi, I'm Beth. I've been to Roatan a couple times. I also love the island. Great underwater photography. Very clean. I don't know what else to say. I've been diving regularly for about 7 or 8 years, and I'm looking forward to going.
Great, thank you.
Chris, we couldn't hear the beginning of that. Who was that?
Beth Bonner.
That's me, Beth Bonner.
Okay, we do have a camera for the room that I think, so if you look to the Dive Connections feed, I think you'll be able to see most of the rest as we go around the table, and Kathleen may play Vanna White to reposition if we need. Bruce?
Russo, have not been to the Honduras. Actually, most of my diving was 20 plus years ago. We just started up about 3 years back, and all been both coasts of Mexico so far. So,
Wonderful.
we're psyched about going. So,
Welcome.
Susan Perkins, a relatively new diver. I think I have maybe 8 dives under my belt, but in the Pacific in winter. So they were challenging.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward. I did a resort dive years ago off of Cozumel. Loved it. And I'm looking forward to getting into warm, tropical, reefy water instead of rock dives and current dives.
Great.
So I also signed up for a refresher course, which I'll talk to you
Okay,
later about.
take care of that.
Hi, I'm Roy Noyes. I've been diving since 2018. Both my wife Brooke and I are dive masters, and I'm working on my instructors. I've been to Roatan. It was my first dive before I even met Brooke at the same resort. It's an amazing resort, amazing area for both non-divers and divers, and I am really looking forward to sharing this with you.
I'm Brooke. I have been diving for about 4 years, I guess it is now. I got certified in 2018 and promptly went from open water to advanced open water, and from advanced open water to Bon Air, and had the most amazing trip ever. Have been able to go to Cozumel and back to Bon Air, and have been stateside ever since COVID hit. So I am super excited to get outside of the United States to do some diving again. So I've seen some of Roy's pictures and can't wait to actually be there in person.
I'm Michael. I've been diving for just over a year. This will only be my second time to the Caribbean. I went to Bonaire last fall. This is my wife, Kim. She is not a diver. So if there are any non-divers out there, you guys may spend a little time together. Looking forward to it.
Kim, you're allowed to talk too.
Ouch.
You're welcome.
I have not been to Honduras, and I've only been on one other dive trip, which was just a couple of weeks ago to Beaufort, North Carolina. So this is going to be an adventure.
Great.
I am Megan Partridge. I've been diving since 2017 with obviously COVID in the middle, so not a ton. I kind of became a diver on accident. I was flying to Indonesia to have a 3 trip to like theoretically just do like yoga and work on my art. And I ended up sitting next to a company that owned a dive shop on the flight on the way out. And they were like, well, if you come to our shop, we'll give you a discount. And then I ended up staying for like a week and a half, and it was awesome. And that's, if I wasn't still paying off graduate school, there is a solid chance that I would have just stayed in the Gili Islands and never come home. So I'm
Sounds like a
really,
long flight, so you probably took care of all of the academic session on the way
Well,
over, right?
technically they got on board. We had a gas stop in Singapore. So it was only that last little chunk from
Yeah.
Singapore. Only about 4 hours. But you know, and I was also on.
Long enough for a few chapters right there.
I don't know that I ever actually finished. I took the test. That was fine.
Chris?
For everybody out there who knows who I am, I'm Chris Reynolds. I've been diving since, I think it's 2006. Started off diving because I was going to Australia and I was wanted to dive, and I realized it was easier to get certified here and go dive there than go down there and try to do it and have to go through the medical and all that, which foreigners had to do. And I was going to quit diving. And that was 400 and some dives ago. And I've been diving different places, Bonaire, Fiji, Australia, and now this is my second trip to Honduras. I did the first one with Chip on the Aggressor out of Roatan. Now this one, and my wife is sitting out in the car reading a book because she's not going and she doesn't want to sit through all this with us.
Got it. So let's see. Going through on my screen, the first one that's green squared, so we'll start there. Alice and Katie.
Hi, my name is Alice. It's my daughter Katie, and we've been diving for about 3 years, and this is our first time to go to Roatan. And Cameron, whatever road you're on that you're driving and on your phone, just tell me what it is so I don't get on it.
Good news for you. I don't live anywhere near you. I'm in Ohio.
Good news, good news.
Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm living in Greensboro right now, just visiting my mom. And I've also been diving just for 3 years. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the beaches in Honduras. I don't know if I'll be doing that much diving, as I will be just swimming around.
They've got great snorkeling.
You'll have a great time either way.
Snorkeling too. Snorkeling's fun.
All right. Let's go to Robert next.
Hi, I'm Robert Foster. About a year ago, I was very, very fortunate to get my advanced certificate with Chris, which was invaluable. And since then, I've been to Bonaire twice, Grenada once with my partner, Kelly Suppa. And I'm currently diving in Key West as we speak with my daughter, who's getting her open water certification. And really looking forward to going to Roatan.
Great. Why don't we move on to Kelly then as your traveling companion?
Hi, I'm Kelly. Let's see, I started diving in 1991, did a lot of diving for about 10 or 12 years, then took a big hiatus to have a kid and started diving a couple of years ago. And I've been diving in lots of great places, but Roatan is not one of them. So I'm excited to go to Roatan.
Great. Cameron's popping up all over the spot on her screen now. Yeah, just retiled. Rick, how about you and TM?
Struggling to find the mute button here. Hi, Rick Nagel. My wife TM is detained, but I told her I'd take notes. And I've been diving since 1971, and I did it with the Navy for a long time, but I've gotten to dive all over the world with a bunch of recreation divers and really enjoy it. And I've also got Ken here, and I've got Ken's wife Patty on the Zoom also, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Looking forward to diving in Roatan. Have not been there.
Hey, this is Ken. I'm with Rick. Glad to meet you all.
And he's got about 30 dives, and he's looking forward to going to Roatan and doing some dives. Teresa, my wife, TM, she goes by TM, Teresa Mary, but she's not a diver, but she's going there to have fun. And we're looking forward to joining our friends down there, well, making new friends and joining our friends, Gib and Diane. Patty, are you there? You want to chime in and introduce yourself?
I think she just dropped off for a minute, but we'll come back.
She might have dropped. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Gib, you and Diane?
Sure, I'm Gib Kerr, and this is my wife, Diane. I've been diving since 1977 and a certified rescue diver. But some crazy person named Rick Nagel got me interested in diving nitrox, and it's been a match made in heaven, and we have done lots of diving and never dove in Roatan. So here we go, and since TM and my wife get along, they've told us we can't make every trip a dive trip, but this one they agreed to let us do, so.
This isn't a dive trip. This is just a trip where we're going to do a lot of diving on it.
There we go. There we go. And I don't know, Diane, if you want to, Diane's actually a certified diver. Let's see if you can get her back in the water.
Yeah. I got certified back in the early 80s. And now you guys are thinking, well, how old are these people anyway? But didn't dive for a long time. So I'm very happy to go to Roatan and do some snorkeling and in the warm water, and to hang out with the rest of you who are planning to not dive. We'll have our own fun.
Very good. Cameron?
Am I the last one?
I think so.
Okay.
Unless Patty hops back on.
All right, I was trying to get my other computer up and running, but we'll do it this way. So hello, everyone. Cameron Smith. I am currently based in Columbus, Ohio, but am family with Mark, so who is familiar with the shop. And I, was originally certified in 2002. But I've been kind of an opportunistic diver. The only other two times I've dove were when I was in the Great Barrier Reef in Australia and in Phi Phi Islands in Thailand. So don't have a lot of dives under my belt, but did get advanced open water and nitrox when I was in Australia. So I'm fully certified to do a lot of things. Now I'm going to get a lot of practice. So this is my first specific dive trip. Everything else has just been, since I'm in a cool place with great diving, do it while I was there.
Great. Well, I'm glad this was an opportunity for you.
Yeah. Excited to meet everybody.
And Chip, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Chip Earl, and I've been diving Western Side since 1987. So we enjoyed it. There we go. And got involved with I think 95. I was thinking, well, what am I going to do when I retire? And
I thought, well, what I really like doing is being on the front of a dive boat somewhere with traveling with friends. And so with that, I went back and said, well, if I'm going to do this, I need to learn more about it. And I fell down the rabbit hole, in terms of just went out, got my rescue, specialties, dive master, instructor, and then here I am running the shop. So I'm very tickled that you guys are running on this trip. I've been to Roatan a couple of different times. I did a trip to this particular resort, as well as the liveaboard that was mentioned earlier. Some great diving, and the people are really nice, and you're going to have a wonderful time.
All right, is there nobody else in here that we've missed? Anyone online that we didn't hear from? All right. Let's go back to our previously scheduled program. Well, we had introduced ourselves, so I thought I would introduce you to some of the local inhabitants that we might see while we're down there. Let me get that back off from the video. Here we go. So, travel requirements. When we were looking to set up the trip, one of the things that Kathleen and I were really looking at was where someplace that was going to be easy for us to get into and get back out of, just from especially from a COVID requirement standpoint, which how much that has changed in the last couple of years. And happy to report that since we booked it, it's gotten even easier to go. So if you are vaccinated, the only thing that you're going to have to do is complete the online pre-check form, which is sort of a pre-customs type form, and I'll send the link out for everybody to do that ahead of time. And you need to have your original vaccination card with you to be able to present, not photocopies of it, not the picture on your phone, to actually have your original card. Their definition of fully vaccinated is 14 days beyond a 2-shot series for everything except J&J, or 14 days past the single shot of Johnson & Johnson. So no boosters, no anything are required within their vaccination, fully vaccinated definition. If you are not vaccinated, you're still able to go into the country, still with the same pre-check, but you're going to have an antigen or a PCR test. So at least it's the rapid test is available to you within 72 hours of arrival in Honduras. So we don't get quite 3 full days based on travel time and things like that. Just, is there anyone that is not vaccinated that we're going to need to help coordinate some of the PCR testing or anything like that for. I'm seeing nodding heads here of no. Anybody online that would like some help on getting that done, if they need the COVID testing? I'm going to take that silence as a no. So those have been in place since June. About a week and a half after Honduras implemented that, the US rolled back their requirement for inbound testing. So if you're vaccinated, show the card to get there. There is no test required to get there or to get back. So much simpler than travel has been anytime. And yeah, it's like traveling in 2019.
And anywhere that's traveled in like Sub-Saharan Africa, you have to have your yellow card anyway. So just kind of rolling with it.
Exactly. The only other thing on travel requirements to note, there is a departure tax at the airport that is $45 that we'll need to pay in cash. You'll see that a couple times come up. Cash is king in Roatan. So $45 cash for that. There's another.
That's US dollars, Chris?
That's correct. $45 US. Okay.
You know what the currency is in Roatan?
Lempira.
I've got the exchange rate coming up here. Yeah, I've got it coming up here. I'm not going to guess to what I wrote.
You did say US currency was fine.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll come back to the currency discussion and the cash. So just a brief overview of the resort. We've got 4 restaurants. It's all inclusive relative to our food and our drink. So we have 4 restaurants to choose from. One of them is more a buffet style restaurant. 2 of them are a la carte. And the other's more for breakfast and lunch when for the meals. 5 bars, and it's unlimited drinks, beer, wine, premium alcohol. You'll recognize the name of the labels on the bottles. Of course, soda, coffee, tea, juices, all of that also is available. Yes, yes, it is.
2 bars right on.
So I might not be diving every day.
Definitely no nighttime.
One thing when traveling to foreign countries, I know I'm normally pretty careful about the water use there. The tap water at the resort, I'll say again, at the resort, is filtered. It is safe to drink out of the tap. Ice from the restaurants, those type things, they're using filtered water for it. If you're off the resort, I would highly encourage bottled water, or having a refillable container that you can fill up at the resort before you would venture off. But
in 2018, they had a gallon of water for brushing teeth. Do they still do that?
They've got a filter on their, I don't know if they do, but they have a filter on their system now for their generalized tap water. So they have a system in place for the facility. So I don't know if they do or not. That's how I was too when I was.
and if you're all of our previous trips and anything that you were drinking was out of the bottled water. So again, having a refillable container that you could have that with you made it really convenient. It's fine to use it. It may still be in the room from a comfort of the guest standpoint for that very reason. A couple of pools to choose from. Absolutely beautiful white sand beach. The resort sets on probably the nicest beach on the entire island. So those of you that aren't going out in the morning on the dive boat with us, you're still going to have a absolutely beautiful backdrop for spending your days. There's kayaking, paddle boarding available for the resort. Of course, snorkeling. evening entertainment that's going to be available each night. There's a full service spa that's there that isn't included, but available for additional charge. And they do accept tipping on the resort, so at the restaurants, at the bar, but that becomes at your discretion, right? So, or if you wanted to tip the housekeeping, any of that type thing, all tipping is at your discretion. Some all-inclusives say absolutely not. They allow it, but it's not a required aspect. And of course, for the dive crew, you would want to be tipping them at the end of the week
Are you
for
gonna
for
suggest
all
or
their work.
recommended for the dive crew for the end of the week? Or do you wanna just let us kind of,
Well, you can, it's a personal choice as sort of a guidelines, $5 to $10 per dive, I think is probably reasonable. If they've gone above and beyond, you may want to do more than that, right? If they're helping you. If they're basically driving the boat, maybe $5. For most of the crews that we have pretty involved, I'm closer to $10 a dive that we'd be at. But again, it's personal
So-
choice.
The crew will be the same throughout the week. It's not on a day by day basis. Crew changes.
I find I'm sure that there will be some change in crew, and I generally find it's best if you just bring some cash with you each day and be able to tip the crew at the end.
Just out of curiosity, because tipping is usually, it's a gratuity. This at a discretion, but it's also a rule of thumb, a percent of what the dive costs. So just if we were to single dive, what would a dive cost us? Not counting rentals. Approximately per person.
I'd have to look back at what I don't have a per dive cost, but I can tell you what our.
But just generally, they're probably like almost $100. Right?
Well, not per dive, no.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
The dive package was about $600 for, for,
One night,
so it's 16 dives
20% of 600.
for the week. Yeah, would be reasonable.
Okay, so that's.
And then you can divvy that up, but yeah.
Plus the cap.
You can't take my paper and my pen. I'm sorry?
I said, is Mark Washington gonna be our dive master?
I don't know.
So one more thing on the resort amenities is, at least when I was there were water taxis that were very oh, you get that, okay.
Yes, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
There's water taxis where you can take them to the West End, which is a very lovely town to walk around, lots of restaurants, stores, shops.
And that's all cash.
That's all cash.
What do they run?
Yeah.
Right now, I was seeing prices like $5 a person.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it was only like $5 for us to go from the resort to the West End.
It is quicker to go by water taxi than go by land. And if you are really wanting a fun little hike, you can, for like a 45-minute walk.
Yeah, there's some obstacles though.
There are.
on that walk.
That's what I said, a fun little walk.
All right, we'll come back to that. For the diving, we have 3 dives a day. We have an included night dive. I've got the basic schedule. This is the island, so don't hold me to the minute, but as a general idea, the morning dives are going to depart at 8:30. We should be back to the dock around 12:30. The afternoon single tank dive leaves about 2. Be back about 3:45.
2 a.m. through the afternoon.
I guess that's PM.
I don't do that.
Okay. That's the sunrise dive. It's really long, 2 a.m. to 3:45. Yeah.
You gotta give me more than one thing.
Yeah. There is also a Roatan Marine Park fee that again will be need to paid in cash. It's $10, actually for the year, but for the trip, so it'll be $10 for each diver. Nitrox is available for the week. We can charge that. It's $150. If you know that you want to add that on, go ahead and let me know. We won't do that. Well, yeah, why don't we do that with the number that are online? Anyone in here for Nitrox now?
People are gonna be going.
Yes.
They're not
Yes.
that
Depends on
deep
how deep the
dive.
dive master tells us on that particular dive, the profile.
There's the one shipwreck. that you
I
can
was
go
gonna say, the one
107.
shipwreck is to 100. That's where they do the deep specialty.
But that's
Mostly it's
really-
going to be on that side, 60 to 80 feet. And I would say 60 falls closer to most of the dives on the north side.
On some of the walls, you
We
have
can drop
100
around to the south side of it and
when
be
you're not
hitting some deeper
advanced.
ones, but
Are you taking the last day off for the flight? Yes. And air would certainly do it for your nitrox off gassing and everything, unless you just personally prefer to dive. It's not required. You're gonna have plenty of time to completely off gas before your flight, even if you drove there.
oh, yeah.
Okay, so you wouldn't necessarily need nitrox in order to do the dive and be comfortable with the times. But if you'd like to have nitrox and you feel it's adding to your safety, then you're most welcome to dive. Great.
And we don't have to have that done ahead of time. You can add that down at the resort. You can actually pay per dive if you decided midway through the week, whatever, to do it. So no problem there. I know there was at least one person that was looking to rent gear down there. It's $145 for a full package for the week.
I'm interested in that.
Okay. Anyone?
And Chris, the $10 park fee, that's a one-time fee or that's per day?
Nope, one time
Per year.
per year.
Oh, per year. Thank you.
Go back again.
I might get my money's worth.
If you are, I'll go back with you.
Okay. Who's that? I can't tell who it is.
Kathleen.
I still have my plastic.
Oh,
curtain,
Kathleen.
But I don't think they'll take it.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing the tokens anymore.
Like trading cards.
Okay. So I'll send you more information a couple weeks before the trip for the gear rentals. I'll send you the email. You can reach out to them of exactly what you're going to want to add on, right? And sizes and things like that. We'll have all of the cylinders have yoke valves. So if anybody's using den regulators, bring your own adapter. They're not pro valves that spin out. And the majority of the cylinders will be 80 cubic feet. If you want a smaller 63 or a bigger 100, those are also available.
Water temps 80 to 84. Do you still suggest a shorting just to protect yourself from coral?
Yeah, even a 3 mil full wetsuit is acceptable at that water
But it's
temperature.
recommended, because 80, 84 is plenty warm.
But you're going to be doing 3 dives a day, and you'll start getting cold with that. So yeah, a wetsuit is recommended. But we don't need to be too heavy.
I would get a full just for
I had a full 3 mil, and at the end of the week, I was starting to get a little chilled, but it was a little. We were like
We are
78.
there in August, but
Right.
I
It
still
was
wear a
78 to
3
80
mil.
with us.
Okay. Let's see, one.
I'll be wearing my 5 mil all week. So if anybody else is feeling shy about it, just join me.
I love
Yep,
you, Chloe.
absolutely. Okay, and then whip diving.
During your next vacation, we invite you to join us in protecting and restoring Roatan's coral reefs. Mayan Divers and Subway Water Sports are proud sponsors of the Bay Islands Reef Restoration Project. In this video, we will learn about coral restoration and how you can be part of this process. Bay Islands Reef Restoration is working on growing corals in our coral nursery to help protect the genetic diversity of this threatened species. We seek to boost their resilience and help preserve and restore coral reef structure and function. At the same time, we provide an opportunity for our guests to participate in and learn about coral restoration.
We have 24 trees near Turquoise Bay and 10 trees at West Bay near Mayan Princess Resort. We have planted over 1,100 corals at the Labyrinth dive site with dive masters and guests from Subway Water Sports, expanding our reach to the nearby Emily Escape dive site as well as in the West Bay area with the help of Mayan divers.
We offer a PADI Bay Island Reef Restoration distinctive specialty course to all of our guests. During the course, you will learn about coral ecology, coral stressors, and the processes we employ in coral restoration. Participants will also help maintain coral trees and outplant nursery-raised corals. We also offer a more informal coral adventure dive every week.
Our goal is to plant tens of thousands of endangered corals back onto Roatan's reefs. We also seek to educate divers from Subway Water Sports and Mayan divers about coral conservation.
Okay, so. Oops. Oh. There we go. So as they said, that is an initiative that the resort, along with a sister property, Turquoise Bay, which is about mid-island, participate in relative to coral restoration. The adventure dive would be a $30 donation to the Bay Island Reef Restoration Fund. Or if you were interested in the full specialty that they talked about, it's $140. Absolutely no pressure to do any of that. It was something available and wanted to, it primarily takes place at Turquoise Bay. So the other resort, but if people were interested in it, I wanted to give them some advance notice that we could help coordinate for anyone that does want to do that reef specialty. I know we had a couple coral people in the group.
What's the time commitment for the specialty?
So it's going to basically be a day. So you're going to do 2 dives, and they would likely do both of those dives the same day for the morning dive. The classroom session, if we have a few people that wanted to do that, they may even set that up as a Zoom session ahead of us going down. So it would really be conducting the dives. But I can get more details on that if I have a sense of who's interested in doing that.
Katie and I would be interested.
Okay,
Chris, Katie and I would be interested.
I've got it. Katie, Alice, Megan.
I'm interested. Not committed yet, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're the same place Mike is.
As someone that's already, has anybody actually already done it?
Yes.
Beth, would you like to talk about it?
I have been to Turquoise Bay a number of times. I actually know the gentleman that was on the video there, Trip Thunderberg. It's
no.
Oh, sorry.
We can't hear Beth.
rewarding the water and impact in the water environment. I've got 2 certificates myself.
Sorry, guys, we can't hear anything.
We can't hear
Whoever's
her.
talking.
hear me?
Yeah, it's
Sort of.
sounds weird.
There's water up in my water bottle. You hand it to me? Think you could put some in there for me out of the fridge? Out of the fridge?
Maybe you could ask everyone else to mute.
Okay. Is that better?
We can hear you. Who was actually talking?
It was Beth that was talking.
I'm sorry, I'm
Can't
wearing a
hear her
mask.
at all.
Say what I.
Okay. She's been to Turquoise Bay, which was what was featured in the video. Knows the gentleman personally that was talking about it. Finds it very rewarding to go on the dives and actually do something to help restore and protect the reefs that were there to see in the first place. So highly recommends it. Again, no pressure.
Question.
Yeah,
Question.
I'm interested.
Who's I'm?
Cameron.
Cameron, thank you.
Not non-committal at this point, but certainly want to know more about it.
Okay.
Question about the certification for Beth. If you get the PADI certification, does that qualify you to volunteer at most places, or do you find that you generally have to take whatever course the local place is offering?
I've found that every place wants you to get their certification because they have a different method, but it's still worth, I have like a card deck full of them.
The answer was the techniques generally vary from location to location, so they want you to take their course typically when you're going to a destination to work with it.
And the 140 is not including equipment rent.
Well, you would have equipment rental as part of your package at Mayan
And
Princess.
we should take it off premise.
Yes. Anybody else online that wants more information on that?
Bruce and I we're not online.
That counts. Yes, you are. You're right. You're right up there in the corner. All right. Very good. And everybody is interested in the actual specialty versus just the one adventure dive to see the.
Well, I do.
Yeah, I'm more the adventure dive.
Okay. Good. Some of the other off-site activities. Most folks that have been to Roatan have seen or heard of the lovely pickpocketing monkeys and the sloths at the monkey and sloth hangout. Get a really slow motion hug. So they're one of the activities that I think Kathleen and I are going to do on the last day there is to go and do zip lining and get a slow motion hug. $45 a person. That includes the transportation and all away from the resort. It'll be basically a half a day type excursion to go over based on where it is on the island, and it gives you a little opportunity to see some of the island on the way over. We talked a little bit about West End and the water taxis. So to go, a lot of shops, other restaurants and bars if you wanted to see more of the local scene to get away from the resort. Really easy to get over there. The water taxis, they can arrange taxis for you from the hotel as well. Again, you're going to want cash for those type excursions. And the resort itself will have other excursions that you could book to go off property through them, where again, everything is coordinated for you. So just some,
Are there ATMs in the island? Okay.
The excursions in the hotel is pretty much everything cash, because that's kind of been a big change I've seen traveling through COVID. More places want cash, taxis.
Yeah, your taxi, your transportation is gonna be cash.
How about Uber?
They don't really do
Uber on the island.
I don't know how big the island is.
You're going to be waiting a while for the pickup, I think.
They,
It's a nice size Uber.
I don't know that you're going to be able to get Uber.
they don't have that. So they have taxis, the taxis that are in the Union are white cars that have a taxi number and a yellow placard on the side. Those are the ones that you want to be looking for. You can get exotic and do the buses, and those are kind of fun to do. They're
Speak up if you're telling the story.
The buses are a lot of fun to do if you have the gumption to travel that way. It's very much a very local thing. It's very cheap. And it'll get you all over the island. You may be holding somebody's chicken or
Their
sitting-
baby
or sitting on a milk cart or something like that, but it is an experience if you want to have one. But from a transportation standpoint, there's not Uber per se.
The ATMs throw extra fees on.
Yeah, of course. Depending on your bank, they usually let it get most of it.
So how much
automatic.
I think
cash do you travel with when you come generally with a person? I mean, I can do the bit of math.
So when I go to a resort like this, I don't do a whole lot of off-resort stuff that requires that. But your taxis are going to run you about $10 a trip. If you're going to West End. So kind of keep that in mind. Any cash that you bring small denominations because you will get change in Lempira, not in US dollars. So when you're off the area, that's pretty typical. So you want to have smaller, yeah.
And on the
size
resort,
lines.
if you tip, can you put it on your room charge and then pay it with a credit card, or is it the cash, like, you know? And
Right.
I understand discretion, you gotta pay the bartender, you're gonna throw him cash so he treats you right, but in the end, can you put it on the card?
I think any of that tipping will be cash as well.
Different kind of system there, and I would suggest just with how Roatan works, how Honduras works in general, that money wouldn't get to the people you're intending it
Chris,
to
can
go.
you repeat that? We didn't hear it. I didn't hear it anyway.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to be polite about it, so I lowered my voice. I'm sorry. So I think that any tipping for like your housekeeper or whatever like that should not be put on a credit card. I don't know that it can be. I'm sure there's a way to, but just the way Honduras works, it might not get to the people you're intending it to get to. So I would leave it in cash for the individual who's working with you. Yeah.
Yes. If you want it to get to them, hand it to them. Okay. Another one of the offsite activities, I'm going to have Kathleen talk about it a little louder.
Yes, sorry. Well, I can talk about this loud. I get excited. I'm sorry?
For the zip lining? For the zip line?
Sure. Who,
Look at Roy. Last day.
Yeah.
Non-diving day, oh yeah.
Everybody.
Otherwise, we'll just sit on the beach drinking, and that seems like a bad idea.
Is the snorkeling any good? Is the animal snorkeling any good?
Yes.
Cool.
Snorkeling right off of, yeah.
well, snorkeling is part of that excursion, or do you want to just do that back at the
Well, I
resort?
think of it on the excursion, but nobody else. Fine, whatever.
Michael, you said you and Ken?
Yes.
Yes.
Did I have hands?
everyone, yes.
What do you have?
What about online? For the zip line?
So what is that, the day before we leave, and doesn't interfere with any of the, like, it's not in place of dives, it's in addition to dives?
That's correct. It's your surface interval before you get on the flag.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fun.
So we're not going up to altitude, right?
Not a lot of altitude.
I was gonna say, you'd have to get some hellacious altitude on a zip line.
Dallas, Katie? Yes?
I see thumbs up in the.
Kelly,
Kelly.
Okay.
Robert.
Okay, at this point, who doesn't want to have their name put down? As I'm writing the entire roster here. Anybody not going? Gib, you're good? Rick? Ken? Okay.
Yes, Rick, I'm good. I think, I'm not sure about Ken. He had to drop off, but yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. No, we'll work on that a little bit more.
All right, so this is something I don't know if we've done this in the past with any of our trips, but last time I went to Roatan, I went to work at a clinic on the island, which is why I was there for so long. And this clinic is a clinic that is it's a nonprofit. It's located in the Sandy Bay area, so it's up the road above West End a little bit. But they provide local care to the communities there at low cost, no cost, whatever they can pay towards it. And they do a lot of supporting the local hospital as well. So there's 2 hospitals on the island that one for travelers and then there's the local one. And truly this clinic helps a lot with supporting that local hospital as well. So it's a pretty needed group of folks. It is run by a nurse. She started this when she moved to the island and people found out she was a nurse and started coming to her door and asking for medical help. And so it grew. She has a facility now and she runs it on volunteer support primarily. They do have a set staff with a few doctors. They have a dentistry there. And then as doctors with specialties come to the island, they announce to the whole island that we have a podiatrist for this week or this 2 weeks. And anyhow, it was a place that I fell in love with. It was a great opportunity to be there. But they also do need things. And so personally, I will be bringing stuff to the island, and I am offering the opportunity to all of you. This is by no means something you have to do. We'll send out the link to the facility with the list of needs, but just so you know, over-the-counter medications, it's amazing. When I was there, they had absolutely no pain relief like Advil, Tylenol, or anything like that in the facility or the hospital. So they need that kind of stuff, vitamins, medical supplies. I personally worked a lot with their diabetic program. One of our local docs and members of our dive club started a diabetic program there, and they went from in their first year having 90 to I think over 900 community members who are enrolled in this, where they actually are keeping track of their blood glucose and getting education on a monthly basis as far and tracking A1Cs and all that kind of stuff. So they need those types of supplies. They need batteries, they need bandages like gauze, that kind of thing. They do a fantastic job with their prenatal care when people are coming, and really make sure that they get the mothers set up in a good way, and they have education classes for them. They provide them with little goodie bags that will be like shampoos or receiving blankets or onesies to be able to take home for their baby. So they do that kind of stuff. But anyhow, I am just opening that up to you guys. If it is something that you would like to contribute to, I was hoping we would be able to do a suitcase full of stuff. And I might be able to do that on my own. Chris goes, what? But if you have stuff and would like to, you can either get it to me beforehand, or you can pack it in your own stuff. Either way, that works. But I just wanted to put that out. It's just a personal thing that I thought would be kind of cool, and we'd be able to deliver that into that community.
One of the
So.
afternoons, I think you're going to plan on.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip an afternoon dive and go over to the clinic, and anybody who would like to join me, more than welcome, and drop that stuff off if you wanted to see the area and to see the clinic that we're supporting. So just offering. I will send you an email with a link with a list of stuff that they look for. It's very nicely organized. They have things that are highlighted as urgent, mostly used, and then they have other things they just need. So. Yes, yeah. If you guys are game to do that, I am game to have a community suitcase. I don't care. I will bring that suitcase. So.
Okay. The website is what is in blue on the site there, but we'll send a follow-up email from. Huh?
It's Clinica Esperanza. .org /medications - supplies.
But we'll include the link with it. But sort of like the discussion with putting the tip in the hand of who needs it.
Yeah.
They rely almost exclusively on travelers to the island bringing supplies, because if it comes through the mail being shipped to them, it probably doesn't actually make it to the clinic. It is confiscated by some hands in government somewhere and is repurposed. So they really rely on traveler donations for keeping it going. So
thank you.
Get us that list. We'll see what we can do.
Final thoughts: bug spray, mosquitoes, sand fleas, that type of thing. They do treat on the resort itself, but the island in general, like many other Caribbean islands, you'll want to have some bug spray for the no-see-ums, things like that. Cash is king. We talked about it a few times. If they do accept credit cards, it's not uncommon that the shop or processor is going to add 10 to 20% in credit card processing fees for you to be able to take that. US dollars are widely accepted, but like we said, you'll probably want some small bills because change is going to be in Lempira. They want the US dollars, they'll gladly give you back Lempira for change. And your
something we didn't mention, sunscreen, reef safe sunscreen. Make sure
reef safe sunscreen.
You're going to be in the water.
Give out a little testimony here. We purchased the 3C 45 SPF everyday sunscreen and took it to Beaufort with us 2 weekends ago. It goes on much more easily than the other Streams of Sea stuff. We applied twice. We also had, rash guards and things like that on, but the 45 everyday sunscreen is super nice and super easy to use. I mean, I used it actually all weekend, last weekend at, Smith Mountain, like we were using it, yeah. Yeah, so it's much easier to put on than some of their other sunscreens. No, it's
What brand is she saying?
Stream to see.
I happen to know a place that you can get that. We'll pay her later for the endorsement, but there's the there's what she was talking about on the which way? There we go.
And any of the ladies that are diving, I'm also gonna give another plug to the Stream to see, if you want leave-in conditioner for your hair, I'm at the point that I'm gonna start using it every day here in Crozet rather than the other stuff that I buy wherever I buy it, because it's awesome.
You're not lady either.
It smells really good, and it's actually no more expensive than all the other crazy stuff we buy at Target for our hair, so. Stream to see hair stuff is a must, yeah, is a must have.
Folks who travel frequently, question, containers larger than 3 ounces, is that ever a problem as going through?
You don't want it in your carry-on.
Put it in check back.
You check
You
that.
should check it.
Yep.
Great, thank you.
2 other things for communicate with the large group using WhatsApp. And I'll include a link for downloading that. It's a text app. Most phones can still use regular text back and forth, but Android and Apple phones don't always play nice connecting over Wi-Fi when you're not using cellular. So WhatsApp puts us all on a consistent platform that all it is just texting. But we'll set up a group chat for everybody as well within WhatsApp, and we'll get some of that information included, but do find that makes it a little simpler. It's free. Yeah. You can use it over cellular if you want, but I tend to shut my cellular off when I hit the island, and WhatsApp works great over Wi-Fi. You can actually do voice calls and video calls over WhatsApp too if you have people that you're wanting to connect with back home. That becomes a free Wi-Fi calling.
So
If you can't already do that through something else when you're.
when you guys were there last, how was the internet? Because when I was in there in 2018, it sucked.
Well, you're on vacation. You're not to be there on your phone.
Yeah, I agree.
It's better in the restaurants and in your room.
Cool pitch to get along coming on vacation, but sometimes have to check on things.
Yeah.
So I'm already looking at.
It's been 5 years since we've been there too, so.
Oh, okay.
No, I've
She has to jump on sometimes. for work.
sometimes I just have to.
And the island is the island.
No, I've actually found a device that I think I can either purchase or rent. So I'm prepared.
Well, there is another basically satellite hotspot.
There are a couple things. I don't want to get here, but just for, we can chat about it later if anyone's interested. I've been doing research already.
Okay.
I've got a
I
couple things.
plan to
One of
be
which
not
I need to
contactable.
call, because one of which I don't think,
Yeah,
actually
me too.
services my growth, but I've got another. one.
No, this is it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it.
The last thing, and so we, I actually expected to get the individual ticket numbers today. But for everyone that is doing the group flights, which is the majority of you, those have been ticketed. When they issued the tickets, Delta had changed the morning flight time. They had 2 morning flights and they basically consolidated those. So we still get to Roatan at the same time. We leave and get back here at the same time, but the departure, I think she said, is 6:45 a.m. instead of the 8 a.m. They had a really early flying through Atlanta, right? But So with that early morning departure, we are going out of Richmond. You're still welcome to drive from Charlottesville, but Kathleen and I will be at the Sheraton Richmond Airport Hotel. There is a block of rooms that's set there. The rate is $145. That's for a king's studio room. They just went through renovated that hotel at the start of COVID, I guess. We stayed there
I stayed there in April again.
Oh, okay. So it's literally in the parking lot of the airport. So very, very convenient. That rate includes leaving your car at the airport for a week. So there's no additional parking on top of that, and the airport shuttle.
24/7 shuttle?
24/7 shuttle. Now with the size of our group, we may have to do 2 batches of the shuttle or get another shuttle coming in, but we're a 5 to 7 minute trip from the door to the hotel to well, you know, once we get all the bags unpacked. But that's there. If you call to make the reservation, just say that it's part of the Sea Devil travel group.
We're coming back at midnight.
Yeah,
If
we
I
are coming
remember,
back at
are we
midnight.
Taking the hotel upon the return.
Would people like a hotel upon the return?
I'm gonna drive home.
Turn around and drive to New Jersey.
Say again, you'll have to get home.
Caffeine gum and go.
Nice. It's all about the
Yeah.
ice and loud music.
I know, but the diner that will be open at that hour. Silver diner.
What about any of the folks online relative to another to set up a hotel block on the way back? No.
Send that information on an email. So
Yeah, I will. Okay.
You gotta call the hotel directly for that?
Yes.
All right. That's it.
That's all that I had. What questions do you have about the trip that we haven't hit or that we already have hit that need some clarification?
Confirmation numbers for our flights. We need
We'll
those.
get those.
Yeah. That's why I say I expected I'd have those today, but I'll follow up with the travel agent tomorrow.
I need to get our own confirm number.
It'll be, it's a group confirmation number, so the 6-digit locator code, but you'll have individual ticket numbers.
So I'll see you in Richmond.
Okay.
At the hotel.
Remember Friday night.
Friday night party. Well, it's great to have you all on here and thank you guys for coming in.
Any other questions in here or online?
Are there other people on the trip who are not participating in our meeting tonight?
We've got 5 more. Mark Gephardt and
Thank you for
Mike.
coming.
Mark and his wife Lynn, Joe Davis and his wife Monica, and Brenda Kiley.
Great.
Oh, and Leanne Womack. Yeah, so we've got 6 more that will be joining us that weren't here today. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
When you get to the.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night. Feel
Good
free to
night.
leave questions.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.